Hello, fellow humans, fellow aspiring base scientists. Today we're gonna look into the science of things. We're gonna start with Henry Kissinger, who is a very interesting man. If you wanna know a little bit more, just a little bit more, how the world works, every base scientist should research this man pretty carefully. Now, this quote that he apparently said to World Health Organization, February 25, 2009, is being fact-checked by Reuters, some other sources maybe. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But it ties together in today's science video. And it's a good opportunity to show this guy's face, so you can do your own research on him. So this guy was saying, you feeling me? Once the herd accepts mandatory forcible beep, you feeling me? It's game over. They will accept anything. You can force with the NPCs anything after that. Forcible blood or organ donation for the greater good. It's always for the greater good. But it's you who gotta sacrifice, not this guy or these guys. We can genetically modify children and sterilize them for the greater good, because there's too many people living on this earth right now. Too many NPCs clocking up the Matrix. The Matrix is lagging right now because there's too many souls up in this bitch. So these guys need to come up with ideas how to reduce the number of human beings on this earth, on this realm. Control sheep minds and you control the herd. Wise words. Beep makers tend to make billions, as they did. And as they still doing, and many of you in this room today are investors. It's a big win-win. This guy was a true businessman. We thin out the herd, and the herd pays us for providing extermination services. Now what's for lunch, huh? Maybe he said this, maybe he didn't. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised either way. That ties well together in today's video. We're gonna check out.
Welcome to this talk. Now, there's what I would describe as a public health catastrophe going on in the United States with young adults.
Really? Public health catastrophe? So this is Dr. John Campbell. His YouTube channel, excess deaths in young adults. Young adults are in trouble, it seems like. They can't catch a break. You can't even date a normal bitch anymore. Men are not men anymore. We don't have no companionship, no camaraderie, no relationships. They're broken. The family structure is broken. And young people are dying right now? Is that what this video is about? What could be the cause? What could be the cause?
Adults. Let me give you some information to decide if you want to watch this video. This paper is looking at adults between the ages of 25 and 44. And it's based on the United States analysis of over 3.3 million young adults who died in that 25 to 44-year-old age band. In 2021, all-cause mortality was nearly 3 times that of 2019. 2021, all-cause mortality nearly 3 times that of 2019.
What? I wonder why. What happened? It must have been for natural causes. Completely natural causes. Let's chill over here. Let the scientist explain.
And excess mortality in 2023 was 70% higher than it would have been if 2011 trends had continued. So really quite, well, it's an incredible amount of deaths, as we'll see, as we've already seen. Now, let me just show you where this paper's from. This is the paper here.
They were eating raw chicken. They got killed by raw chicken, I bet. It's the germs.
It's in Journal of the American Medical Association. And this paper is very notable for what it says. And in my view, equally notable for what it doesn't say. And we'll come on to that. Now, let's look at some of the detail from this paper now. So this is it here. Trends, mortality trends among early adults in the United States, 1999 to 2023. That's the reference. Check it out for yourself. The paper is really quite readable, actually. You'll have no difficulty reading that in 20 minutes, probably half an hour, if you want more detail. Now, first of all, let's look at all-cause mortality figures. Now, what we have here is they have a series of, I've done a series of graphs here. Now, what we have is, one is the baseline. So that is the number of deaths we would expect based on the 1999 to 2010 figures. So we've got that period of time as the baseline. So if everything had carried on as it was 1999 to 2010, all of these lines that are going up here, they would all be flat. It would have just carried on. But what we have is ratios. So times 2, times 3, times 4, that which the deaths would have been if it had carried on the 1999 to 2010 ratio. Now, what I've done here in red, this is the all-cause mortality. So we see that all-cause mortality, for example, this is 2020 here, this line.
What you can also see is it was even before 2021 going up quite significantly. What could be the cause? What are we doing up in here in the earth realms that young people 25 to 44, that's still very young, I'm between there. Like, why is some of these people dying? And so much more than 20 years ago.
This is 2021 here. So we see that it's double what we would have expected. And that's a significant increase from 2019. So yes, we saw all-cause mortality increasing progressively from 2011 through to 2019, but then a fairly big jump 19 to 20 and another big jump 20 to 21. And perhaps the most concerning thing, we know there's reasons why this might have been higher in 2021, mid-2021 this data is taken from, but the fact that it hasn't really fallen down to anything like a baseline is quite a concern. And this paper talks about various causes. It doesn't mention iatrogenic causes. And
which means basically medications. It doesn't mention them. Who knows about them? My hands are up. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about it. I'm gonna bury my head in the sand.
It's just ignored, completely ignored. The idea that any of these deaths could be caused by medical treatment, as far as I can see, is simply not considered, certainly not mentioned overtly in the paper. Now, what is mentioned is other natural causes of death. Now, it doesn't say what this means. So,
it doesn't say what that means. What are the natural causes of death? You go happily to sleep when you are 120 years old, and your soul or whatever, your spirit, your life force fades away into the new realms. What are the natural causes of death?
Other natural causes of death. But this is the line for it here. So again, this is 2023 here. And this is the ×3 line along there. So we see what's classified as other natural causes of death 3 times higher in 2023 than we would have expected if we carried on with the 2011 data. It did carry on going up, but then again we see a sudden jump. So that is 2021 there, would be just there.
It is a sudden jump, but even before that, it was still going way worse than 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Remember that.
That would be 2021. And then it carries on going up into 2023, which is really quite concerning. As I say, 3 times the level. Now, what do they mean by natural causes of death? It's deaths that don't fit into the categories we're going to look at. But to me, natural causes of death would mean things like heart attacks, or brain hemorrhages, or myocarditis, or liver failure, or any of the sort of standard causes of death that we've known about. That's what it would mean to me. What it means precisely, the paper doesn't tell us, unfortunately. But it's alarmingly high.
And you can argue that even those are not really natural causes of death if you live as naturally as possible. But who knows? We're not gonna go into that.
And of course, natural causes of death could easily, things could be attributed to a natural cause of death, which could in fact be iatrogenic. It is possible. We simply don't know from the data, but we do know that number's high, and we do know the number went up dramatically in 2020, 2021, and is still high in 2023. So that's quite a concern. I mean, this means that from other natural causes, 3 times more people dying, young adults, in the 25 to 44-year-old age group than we could reasonably expect. Now, some specific causes, again, I've marked them out in red here because it's easier to see. This one is related to transport. So again, this is much higher. So greatly increasing trend in people killed in transport-related road traffic incidents. Hard to see why this should be so. Why should there be so many more people, young adults, dying now than there were? But that's what the data is showing. Now, sadly, alcohol-related, so this is the alcohol-related line. Again, we see a big increase between 19, 20 and 21. So that's 2020.
But even that is interesting because people have always drank. Populations have always drank quite a bit of alcohol. Why would it increase so much? And it is actually exactly the same figure as the natural causes and the transportation. It's pretty interesting how they measured this. Like what? How did they decide that this death was alcohol related? This was natural causes? Would be interesting to know.
21 there, just there. We see another big increase in alcohol related deaths. And remember, this is tragically young. This is adults 25 to 44. So very young deaths to be dying of alcohol-related problems. Again, why would they all be going up in tandem is a bit of a mystery to me. Homicide, murders, basically. Again, we see the line, we see an increasing trend. 2.5 times roughly in 2021. What we would have expected if the 2011 trend.
This is exactly the same also. But where this goes to, so if this is true, there are a lot of mental problems and spiritual problems, so to speak, in our current young people. I would say it's even worse. Just by looking at the next generations coming up, it's getting way worse.
And had simply continued. So why have murders gone up so dramatically, affecting young adults? Next one is endocrine, nutrition and metabolic. We know the diet in the United States is often appalling, very high in ultra-processed foods, processed seed oils, etc. Carbohydrates, refined sugars. But that's the trend there. So endocrine, nutrition and metabolic, bit of a wide
What? No raw chicken mentioned? It wasn't the raw chicken. What the hell? What about raw meat? That's quite a large category also, and how they decide, how they choose to do this category. But yeah, this doesn't surprise me one bit.
Category, I agree, we can't take too much from that. But again, we see quite a sharp increase, 19, 20, 21, but remaining high, 2022, 2023. Digestive problems, again, sudden increase, so bundling along actually a little below the average there.
Wow. Yeah, bruh, digestive problems, massive issue these days. That's why we're doing this. And what I have found out eating this way is digestive problems. Bye bye. Bye. They're gone. They are nowhere to be found. Where is the salmon Nutella? Anyway, let's continue.
And then here going above, that's that line there is what we would expect from the 1999-2011 data. But then going up really quite significantly here in 2019, 2020, 2021. Why would we have such a dramatic increase or a significant increase in digestive issues? Circulatory issues, again, you'd expect to see this less in the young adult range. Again, gone up gradually from 2011, but then a sharper increase 19, 20, 21, following a very similar trajectory actually. And cancers, now why they would cause, I mean, you would think that some cancers might be in this one from other all-cause mortality, and what was the one they called it, the sort of catch-all group, other natural causes of death. But they seem to have done this as a separate one, so this is cancer increasing in young adults, and sadly the trajectory does seem to be up. Constant increase from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 in cancers. So a range of causes, many not specified, iatrogenic.
Was that the only one that was still rising up? Like other ones were like 21, then a little bit down, but still higher than the 2019 baseline and before that. But the cancer was it still going up? That's kinda... I thought cancer is there to help your body. It's basically one of your body's final measures to keep you alive. Your body is basically molding away, and the cancer is there to keep the toxicity in one place so it doesn't spread all over your body, which keeps you still going. Your body is always doing anything it can to keep you alive, basically, keep you going. Your body can adapt to a whole lot of toxicity, whole lot of stress.
Causes not mentioned in the article, but let's look at just a little more detail on it. Mutually exclusive underlying cause of death categories were adapted from prior work. So, in other words, the standard ways to do this, as far as I can tell, they followed a completely standard method, which is good. And they were mutually exclusive. In other words, one death wasn't counted twice, it was only in one category. The baseline data, as we've said, 1999 to 2010, so the baseline data is that line along there. What we would expect if this trend had continued, but as we see this trend has not continued, things are way above and are here massively, significantly above what we would have expected from the baseline figures from 1999 to 2010. To project expected mortality trends for 11 to 23, so all of these figures above the line are based on this 1999 to 2010 baseline. We analysed 3.34 nearly million deaths among full population aged 25 to 44, 1999 to 2023, so a good range of data. In 2021, all-cause mortality, all-cause excess mortality was nearly 3 times that it had been in 2019. In 2021, of course, there was a significant iatrogenic potential with the rollout of the prophylactic measures, or alleged prophylactic measures. I want this video to not to be taken down, so I really don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm allowed to say still. Still a bit ambiguous. Anyway, you all know what I'm talking about. So it was 116.2 versus 47.1 deaths per 100,000 of the population. So in other words, that was there was 41.7 per 100,000 in 2019. That went up to 116.2 in 2021. In 2023, the excess mortality decreased to 79.1 deaths per 100,000, so down a little bit in 2023. Early adult mortality was 70% higher in 2023 than it would have been, so still pretty bad, had pre-2011 trends continued, representing 71,124 excess deaths in the 25 to 44-year-old range. Although mortality rates decreased after the core pandemic years, excess mortality remained higher than expected based on pre-pandemic levels, as we've very clearly seen. Increases in early adult mortality can signal population risks that may be becoming more pronounced as these cohorts age. In other words, I think what they're saying here is the pathology the diseases that are killing these young adults are probably going to become more prevalent when you add in age as well. So sadly, as this cohort ages, it's quite possible that they're going to maintain a higher mortality rate and far fewer of them will be left at any particular age, which is really quite alarming. I think it's quite alarming.
Yeah, it ties well together to the plan of these Henry Kissingers of the world, because they realized that there's too many people right now, too many people, too many mouths to feed, too little resources. So they just trying to come up all these different ways to erase certain parts of the population. This was just one of the experiments, and as you can see, it was pretty successful. But they got even better ones, I would say, the plant-based agenda. All the toxicity that they use in the farming practices that seeps into the food and then into us, making us infertile and damaged in many ways. Really, the infertility crisis is also big one, because they don't want, like he said in the supposed article, that some people even take these vasectomies like voluntarily, but some people weren't gonna do it, so they have to push these agendas and these secret measures to the population that even the ones who don't want to get a vasectomy will experience infertility problems due to all the toxicity. And then they can kill some people off straight up with these measures, because many of the sheep, the herd, went straight into this one, this beep medication thing, and they took multiple beeps, and that's one of the problems why you can see the excess deaths. I think we are done here. Let's check some of the comments. This is pretty popular. 3.2 million subscribers and 26,000 likes. Like, this kind of message is getting out there, like the basics, because so many people, if you start reading the comments, like our daughter, 24 years old, died suddenly from heart failure. He took the beep things. He was healthy before that. And yeah, too late for us. They didn't realize it. They lacked mentorship. They lacked that base knowledge. And yeah, global horror, yeah. At 38 years old, I should not have multiple friends with cancer. I actually have. We have this like high school dance here in Finland, and the girl that I danced with in the high school dance, she actually has already passed away from cancer a few years ago. She had a YouTube channel documenting that. So she was my age, we danced together, it was fun back then. But she's already been gone for a few years due to cancer. So the cancer is big one. The media has no interest in talking about this, of course, because who funds the media? Darling, Derek. Who funds the media? Just check it out. The comments are pretty good. I'm 38. I got the second beep dose. I had immediate drop in my athletic capabilities. Yeah, I know. I have noticed big time, because I am athletic coach, and I have noticed big time in my students. Like, it's not the same as it was a couple of years ago. Everybody's struggling. Because so many people do this, like the overall energy levels in people these days, they are nothing like they were a couple of years ago. And when you think about what they were like when this study started, 1999, like people were even then so much healthier, and people back then were already, like the toxicity levels back then were already pretty high compared to like 50 years ago or 100 years ago. But these days, it's just insane, bro. It's completely insane. Yeah, you can check the video yourself, the study. I will never trust the government ever again. Yeah, bro. The fact is, the greatest medical atrocity in history, which is still ongoing, is being ignored, and no one will ever be held accountable, makes one despair for this world. Yeah, like I've said, the modern matrix, the system, it really kills the human soul. It really does. Yeah, bro, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence over here. Now what the answer to all this is, return back to nature, make our farming practices, our food production practices way more natural, which is hard. because money is the problem. These farmers, they're so used to these NPK fertilizers and shit that completely destroy the food, completely destroy the soil. The soil health needs to come back, so the animals and the plants that we eat are more nutritious and there's way less toxicity to them. And then we need to eat natural foods, which you have seen me eating over here. Now the foods I've been eating might be a little controversial, but that's what base science is all about. To get to the bottom of things. Is raw meat, raw chicken, is it dangerous, is it safe? Because even the bigger, like what this all is built on, is germ theory. That's what all these PEEP medications are built on. And the germ theory might be completely wrong paradigm to this reality we're living. So that's what we are figuring out over here. Anyway, keep peace, have some raw kefir if you can handle dairy. And yeah, learn about this stuff. Get some base knowledge up in here. And we might be able to prevent these kinds of things that the Henry Kissingers of the world are planning for us. Our poor peasant asses.